One of the most difficult things to deal with is betrayal. It is the very thing that is driving the popular success of the Donald Trump FU campaign. People feel sold out, betrayed by our government, and they are livid, and they gravitate to a candidate spewing outrage. That sense of betrayal, the stab in the back by those we trusted, is why treason is a capital punishment. And it is exactly why I have a problem with the Wounded Warrior Project. I've always had an unease about the slick commercials that show wounded vets in rehab, families with a disabled parent, and they're all smiling, a popular country singer tugging at hearts in a practiced baritone voice, and a soundtrack that begs that we say a prayer for peace. The commercials are slick because nowhere in the ads is there a statement about services actually delivered to vets and the benefits vets get and the recoveries they experience due to Wounded Warrior Project services. So the ads don't quite pass the sniff test. What is really going on? In a stunning January 27, 2016 article in the New York Times Online, Dave Phillips detailed the lavish spending, hundreds of millions of dollars per year, that Wounded Warrior Project applies to its executives, not to vets, for travel, dinner, hotels, and its draconian employee practices and other questionable activities of Wounded Warrior Project. Seriously, sending one guy to 6 baseball games is not the same as providing for the needs of 6 wounded veterans. Wounded Warrior Project urges us to donate $19 per month, and they give a Wounded Warrior Project blanket as a token of thanks. That would be nice as long as the monthly ding on your credit card account means that the money actually goes to helping our vets. Phillips reports that, quote, about 40% of the organization's donations in 2014 were spent on its overhead, which includes administrative expenses and marketing costs. Well, that means that $7.60 of every monthly donation goes to executive pay and fancy hotels at $500 per night instead of to help wounded veterans. To put that into perspective, the Semper Fi Fund, a wounded veterans group, spent about 8% of donations on overhead. Ugly fact. Phillips reports that Mr. Nardizzi, CEO of Wounded Warrior Project, was given $473,000 in compensation in 2014. Is it okay with you that all that money went to a very healthy, never been in the military CEO instead of going to vets suffering PTSD from IEDs? If you have donated to Wounded Warrior Project, are you now feeling duped? We hold our veterans in highest esteem as they do for us what we don't want to do for ourselves. They intentionally put themselves in harm's way to protect us, and they too often need our help when they come home. I'm all for supporting our veterans, and I'm definitely not for supporting Mr. Nardizzi, who probably won't be sending me a Wounded Warrior Project blanket anytime soon. And that's okay, because I think he's betraying our veterans. CBS reported on this issue too, and if you'd like to read what Wounded Warrior Project had to say in response, click on the link in the printed blog. Perhaps the reporting is wrong. Maybe it's 20% for overhead, as Mr. Nardizzi claims, but 8% is even better, and there's still that sniff thing. I'm Jack Alshuler.